to the Monkeys podcast. I am Takura McCullough, and today's co-host today, like it's an everyday podcast. Anyway, our co-host is Brendan Howard. He's back.
I'm back. Yay. I grew up in California, so I have some cred, and now I live in, Kansas, which doesn't have nearly as much cool cred as California.
Wait, cred? What do you need cred for?
I don't know. Don't you want credibility? I feel like, I'd be cooler if I was actually sitting in Southern California with you instead of here in Kansas.
It matters not. Nobody knew where you were until you said it.
Why did I have to out myself? I really screwed this up already.
Kansas. Oh, look at this.
Flyover state. Yeah.
Jaybird. Wait, what is it?
Jaybird.
I don't know.
No, you're so close. University of Kansas Jayhawks. There's rivalry. Yes. There's rivalry between the University of Mizzou, Kansas State University, and University of Kansas. Those are the three schools that have the big rivalries.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I meant to call you a Jayhawk, and I got lost. Yep. Californians hate them Jayhawks. Look at them Jaybirds.
Those Jaybirds. Is Jaybird when you're in jail? Doesn't I feel like
Jailbird
escapes? Jailbird. Thank you. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Jailbird.
And then people say naked as a jaybird, which is weird.
That is weird. There's nothing particularly naked. There's nothing more naked about a jaybird than other birds, I don't think.
Right. Jaybirds are proud about it, I imagine. They just strut around look at me.
They're disgusting. They're the nudists of the bird world. Every bird is nude, but the jaybirds make such a big deal about it.
What? Come on. What? What's wrong? It's just natural. Yeah, Jaybird, we get it. Those Jaybirds. All right. So apologies for last time. Oh, a technical. Okay. All right. Good. It was sounding robot-y. Okay. Apologies for the last time Brendan was on. I messed up the audio. I said, this is fine, and went on with the recording when in reality it was not fine. Brendan was too loud. That was my fault.
This time it's going to be much better.
Okay,
Sorry,
Jaybird.
I won't do that again.
You creepy Jaybird. Stop that. So this time I tested it, and I was honest with myself, and it sounded normal. I wasn't just blasé about it. Okay, so fixed audio. Well, not fixed, but better audio. All right. Anything we need to talk about up top? What's been going on?
No, this is my second, other than, again, way back when I might have caught bits of episodes on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning when they were syndicated back in the day. This will be my second Monkeys episode watched in at least 35 years.
Ooh, exciting. But now you're warmed up to it. You're oh, okay. I know these guys, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, also apologies for last episode with Dan Kaufman. I brought up in the episode there was a Gypsy tea room, and I did not mention the fact that Gypsy is not something we say anymore. So I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
Hey, can I ask a question about this? And it's okay if you don't know the answer, because then you could drop it in the notes, or we could just pretend I never asked this, so you could just totally cut it out. So they prefer to be called Romani, but is Gypsy? Do you know where that word comes from?
No,
why it's offensive? I don't know either. I guess I'll have to look at that. Okay.
Honestly, I don't know. But don't worry, we'll be talking about it more, because today's episode.
No, it has Romani in it.
Is called Son of a Gypsy.
Oh, no, it's even in the name. Oh.
Yeah, I was and we're back to Gypsies. Great.
Oh.
Okay, so this is from December 26, 1966 is when this aired. Directed by James Frawley, written by Gerald Gardner, Dee Caruso, and Treva Silverman. Rest in peace. Wait, was Treva no, Treva's not the one that passed. Well, maybe Treva passed. I was thinking of somebody else. Sorry. Okay. Produced by Robert Rafelson and Bert Schneider. Associate producer Ward Sylvester, a Raybert production. All right, here is the synopsis. Peter is held hostage by a band of, gypsies, who demand that Mike, Micky, and Davy heist the treasured Maltese Vulture from a party they are scheduled to play. Production notes: Son of a Gypsy was filmed in October 1966. Screen Gem's original synopsis featured an alternate ending in which Peter is supposed to pursue the gypsies for the return of the monkeys' wallets and watches, but is stopped in his tracks when he realizes his trousers are missing. Actor Vincent Beck later turns up on the monkeys as Ivan the Druvanian smuggler in episode 41, Card Carrying Red Shoes. Similarly, Gene Dynarski, seen here as Zeppo, shows up 10 episodes later as as Toto, the fiendish Asian henchman in episode 26, Monkey's Chow Mein. Boy,
holy crap on a crutch.
I can't wait for 10 episodes later.
What the flip?
When we look at Monkey's Chow Mein. The song on this episode is I'm a Believer. And there we go.
So, okay. Yeah, some of these they're of their era. This is so what, but they really are the epitome of a well-meaning person just ignorantly using lots of stuff.
You be more specific.
You can just feel it. So again, speaking of, like, there's so much talk now of white privilege where people just take things for granted that they're just nice. Like when I came to the Midwest as a Jew, most people aren't hostile to Jews. They just don't know anything about them. So it's sort of well-meaning ignorance. Like, right. Oh, you guys don't do that? Or you find that offensive? Oh no, don't do that. And so it feels a lot like this. Like they probably didn't mean to be offensive. It wasn't there. They didn't go out for that. They were just going for a laugh. And,
right. Like when I was watching
the audience at the time.
When I was watching this in the 80s, it was fine. You know, that was a treasured Halloween costume, you know?
Crazy.
Oh, boy.
Okay, do we get to watch it?
Yes, we get to watch. All right. So, everybody, remember these episodes can be found on MeTV, DirecTV, Sling, and also that funny website where you can put things up on a tube. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. See you in a bit, everybody. Bye. We are back from the episode, and what a journey it was.
There's a lot of violence, threatened violence, a lot of threatened violence in this episode.
So much violence.
Yeah.
I wanted to read a little bit from Wikipedia, which I know is not the best source, but about the gypsy, and Brendan did some research too, but the English term gypsy is commonly used to indicate Romani people, tinkers, and travelers. And the use of the word gypsy in modern day English is so pervasive and is a legal term under English law that some Romani organizations use it in their own organizational names. However, according to the few who study the Romani people and a large percent of the Romani people, the word has been tainted by its use as a racial slur and a pejorative connoting?
Yeah, connoting. You got it.
Okay. Connoting illegality and irregularity. And some modern dictionaries either recommend avoiding use of the word gypsy entirely or give it a negative or warning label. So the Oxford English Dictionary states a gypsy is a member of a wandering race by themselves called Romani of Indian origin, which first appeared in England about the beginning of the 16th century. And so because the episode is called Son of a Gypsy and they say the word gypsy throughout, I apologize, but I'm probably going to say gypsy too, but I'll try to avoid it. So, all right, that's my disclaimer. Brendan, did you want to add anything?
So I'm wondering about the title Son of a Gypsy. So is that just like son of a gypsy, like son of a B word? Like, is that...
Yeah.
Is that okay? That's the joke. And
no, I don't know. Oh, no. I was just saying, yeah, like I hadn't thought about that.
And then who's the son? So I'm sure you're going to get into the characters, but is the matriarch of the group Maria?
Yeah, Maria.
Okay. Is that dopey thug who gets? Is he her son, or is that like her brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so he's the son of a gypsy. Like there is literally a son of a gypsy in the show. Okay.
They're all sons. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, that's a weird title. You son of a... Oh, okay. So we start off with these two... Oh, by the way, this was one of my favorite episodes when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you remember what you liked about it?
um I don't know that it's jam packed with jokes. It really is.
Yes, there's not long stretches. There's also, it was interesting in the other one I watched with you just a few episodes ago, there's a big breaking of the fourth wall. And in this case, I don't think there's, maybe Davy looks at the camera once.
Yeah, Davy does most of it. Davy looks at the camera a few times, actually. I was trying to count because I don't notice it anymore. So I was like, I'm going to really look for it this time. He does it a lot.
Yeah.
He does most of the camera takes in this episode. Okay. So we start off with them in a hallway. The monkeys are all sitting on one side, and then the gypsies are sitting on the other. I don't know what to call them. Mama and Marco and Zeppo and I don't know, is there a Rico? I don't know. They're all sitting on one side, and they've both auditioned for a gig at this rich lady's house, Madam something or another. I don't know. I don't remember what her name is. Madam something with an R, I think. I could look it up, but who cares? So so they're worried. They don't know who's going to get the gig. Oh, to play at her ball, I guess. And Mike tells the band, don't worry, everybody loves rock and roll. And then we cut to, oh wait, they growl at them and stuff. I guess they're being threatened. I don't know why they're threatening the monkeys. The monkeys are scared of them. And then the Rocco or somebody says, oh mama, what happens if we don't get the gig, because we need to steal the Maltese Vulture. Get it, Brendan?
I got it. Is that a reference to Casablanca?
It's the Maltese Falcon.
Oh, of course, the Maltese Falcon. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
The Maltese Vulture. And then, but the Vulture, as you said, this is jam-packed with jokes. They don't just say Maltese Vulture because that's like, look, it's a worse bird than a falcon. But later on, it shows up in a joke by the woman of the house.
Yes. So dumb. Okay. So, so they're worried that if they don't get the gig, they can't steal the Maltese Vulture. And Mama says, don't worry. Everybody loves gypsy music. So that's kind of cute. And then the madam lady, who's very flighty and a real stereotype of I don't know what kind of stereotype is that? I don't know, but she's very flighty and flamboyanty and
flighty is perfect because she seems like the ultimate, like she's just a stereotype of the social butterfly. She just boom, boom, boom from place to place. And there's one point later on where she zooms in and she only talks to the monkeys for like 4 seconds and then zooms away when they need to talk to her. And that's the joke.
Right.
Yeah, she doesn't pay any attention for any length of time.
Right. Yeah. She kind of floats around with her scarf. She says, hello, monkeys. Hello, gypsies.
Yeah, right.
And the monkeys are chosen to play at the ball. And then she tells the gypsies, don't call us, we'll call you, which is a great joke for a 12-year-old. Like weird showbiz jokes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So then now Marco wants to kill the monkeys and threatens them. I don't know. Do you remember any? I tried not to write as many notes this time, but now I feel like I didn't write enough.
He's involved in heavy grimacing, and then his gig through the episode will be, I mean, he doesn't seem bad, but he's the one who's like, of all the sons, he's the one who's most prone to violence.
Yes,
he's looking forward to torturing and killing all the time.
Yes, he's also probably not the brightest one.
Right. He's presented as dumb and easily manipulated.
Yes. So he wants to kill them, but Mama instead invites the monkeys to their camp, and they're
nervous about it. So I don't know why they accepted the invitation.
Well, Peter is very happy about it because he's like, oh, swimming, climbing trees.
Oh, you're right.
He's very exciting. Canoeing, arts and crafts. So Peter is very excited about going to camp. Oh, there's a funny bit where Marco is like chewing on like a piece of metal and Mama says, Marco, don't bite your nails.
Yeah. Right. And then the monkeys give vaudevillian facial expressions of, oh no.
Oh,
yikes.
Yay. Yeah. So then we get to our our credits, our first season open credits. And then we cut back to the monkeys walking through the woods, quote unquote. And The woods are so beautiful. And everybody else is like, ugh, I don't know why we did this. They're like Brendan saying, why did we even do this? And Peter says, oh, I don't know. The woods are so beautiful. And they say, famous last words. And Peter says, whose? And they all say, Little Red Riding Hood. Boop, boop, a doop. Joke. So yeah, here's again where I stopped taking so many notes, which was a bad idea. I like so they welcome them to their camp, which really looks, do they have I'm trying to remember what the camp looks like.
No, in fact, they even say there's one point where they say, well, how did you know Mother's name? And well, I read it off the tent. And he's like, who said you could read the tent? But they didn't even show us enough of any tent. They really only had a backdrop of tent fabric in different spots, but they never actually went into a tent. They were just supposed to be in a tent. And then through here, it's just the four things of they're going to be drugged, knocked out. The four of them, one at a time, are going to be drugged or knocked out in different ways.
Yes, tied up. But before they do that, I think this is the first time Maria calls her sons grub chicks, which I love. I don't know why. My little grub chicks. And we see Vic Tayback from Mel.
Oh yes, I noticed that. Oh my God.
I was like, yay, it's Vic Tayback.
He's young and good. He's young and good. He's a solid looking dude. Good looking. Just who's the main violent guy?
Marco, yeah.
He's good looking too. Tayback, they've got tans. They look good. They look.
I know, they're handsome.
Yeah.
But before they get all dressed up, Maria gets them dressed up in quote unquote gypsy clothes. They've got baggy pants and little vests and headscarves and earrings. And then they get a boar's tooth, a charm or a good luck or something.
Each one gets one.
Yeah, each one gets one. Each one gets a little joke as they get it put on them. Mike points out that it's got a little bitty cavity. There's a cavity in there. And then Marco does a dentist joke, but 27% of them had less cavities or something
Exactly.
Which is a cute toothpaste joke. Let's see, who is next? Is it Davy?
Yeah.
I don't remember. What was the joke for Davy?
I don't remember either. I remember Mickey was even not given. I'm like, oh, Mickey's going to get a great joke here. And his is
no, he doesn't get a good one. No.
It's something about giving it away. I
won't ever give it away. I couldn't or something
exactly. I couldn't, which is just, it gets
rude.
Half a second of, yeah.
I know. I'm
for the punchline.
That's rude. And, I think Davy says, I'll cherish it always or something, I think is what he says. Oh,
yes. I think so. Yes.
And then Peter gives Marco some salt, which is also good luck. He gives him a giant shaker of salt and says, it's good luck. You throw it over your shoulder. And of course, Marco throws the entire shaker over his shoulder. All right. So now, now they're going to go each grub chick, that's what I'm going to call them. Each grub chick is escorting a monkey to show them the camp. And of course, as Brendan pointed out, they're actually going to knock them out and drug them or tie them up so that they're going to convince them to steal the Maltese Vulture since they have the gig. And then Marco, we have the sugar cube bit, which I love.
You like the horse bits? They do that 2 or 3 times.
I love it. So if Marco gets upset, Maria holds out her hand, a flat hand with a sugar cube in it. Marco smiles. There is a horse whinnying noise. And then he chomps down on the sugar cube. I don't know why I like this bit so much. It might be the synchronization of the whinny with his smile. It's just, it kills me every time. Whee! Crunch. And there's a sound of chewing. All right, so one of them, I don't remember which one. Who's doing the fortune telling? I don't remember. I mean, I know it was Mickey.
Vic Tayback.
Yes.
Yes, drugs Mickey.
So we're back to
tea,
tea
right?
leaves.
Yeah.
Which we had last episode, everybody. Fortune telling, in the fortune telling tent, I guess, and Mickey's looking at the grid, not a grid, a map of some sort. I don't know, some sort of poster. And he's like, oh, what does this pin do? What does this pin do? What does this pin do? And then that one holds up the
chart, or holds the
chart, yeah. And then so Vic Tayback pours him a hot cup of tea because it's right off the fire.
Yep.
And then Mickey just drinks it down.
And then he tells his future.
Yeah.
You're gonna get fall over and pass out.
Yeah. And like Mickey's like, wow, you're really good at well. Mickey's hair looks really good in this bit. It's really flat ironed out, but it looks really good in the with the scarf and his little side bang. I like Mickey's hair in that.
That stood out to me too. It looked, I think normally his hair is sort of, I mean, it's wavy and poof.
Yeah.
It's got built, and they flattened it down underneath that thing. Yeah.
Really good on this one.
It did.
Then we go to Davy. I think this is one of my favorite Davy bits. The guy's talking about is it Marco? It's Marco, right?
Yes, Marco. They're gonna have a knife fight.
Yeah, knife fight. So he shows Davy a knife, gives Davy a knife, and then has like a handkerchief in his mouth, and stuffs a handkerchief in Davy's mouth, and explains the first person to let go is the coward. So of course, since Davy's so tiny, they show Davy's feet being lifted off the ground. And Davy's making lots of cute, scared noises. Ah! And then he lets go and says, I win. I'm the coward. I win.
I love that I'm the coward line.
I win. I'm the coward. And then he backs him up against the tent, or not the tent, the board there, which is clearly the knife throwing board. And we get a good knife throwing bit. Now, I always try to watch for this because they cut to the person throwing the knife.
Yes.
And then they cut back to the person up against the board and the knife supposedly hitting the board. But is the knife just being pushed through the back of the board?
I did not watch it. In fact, did they make such a quick action cut that the board was already there and wasn't actually moved at all? I didn't look at it. I didn't follow that.
I always try, because it's a bit that comes up in the Monkees a lot.
Okay.
There's always, like every few episodes, somebody's throwing a knife. And I always try to catch and see, like, okay, since I've seen this so many times, I don't have to follow the illusion of the knife being thrown. I know. But I always think that they're pushing the knife through the board.
They could.
That's my suspect. I don't know. Let me know, people, at Monkees Podcast, Gmail, or at Monkees Podcast on Twitter. How do they do the knife throwing camera trickery? So
Marco,
yeah.
Also before this, Marco has one of my favorite lines. I like the other episode we watched. I think the women chewed the scenery and dominated because of the assistant to the dance person. Here, I think the guys are given, the male gypsies are given more to do.
Yes.
And Marco has this good line where he's telling this long thing about how, like, we pass down these knives from generation to generation. Davy's like, oh, what kind of knife? Switchblade. I'm like,
yes.
You got the switchblade from many generations of your people, right?
Right. Yes, I like that. And so now Davy is left doing lots of goo because he's been he's surrounded by knives on this board. And then we cut to Sweet Pete and Peter, and then the guy talking to Peter says, when you think of Gypsy, we think of dancing. And Peter says, I think of Ethel Merman. Broadway jokes. And then he brings out a girl, and I forget her name. I used to actually remember what her name is. Anyway, brings out a girl. They're going to do some gypsy dancing with scarves.
Yes.
And it cuts to Peter going, dance, gypsies, dance, as they dance around him. But they've tied you up with scarves, Peter. You were deceived.
I say of these four things, Peter's the weak link in this episode. I don't want to call it early, but you'll have to tell me as we go through the rest of this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing that saves that bit is him saying, dance, gypsies, dance.
I did like that. They zoom in on him. Yes, that was good.
That's the only thing. And then we're with Zeppo with with Mike with the head bump, the phrenology.
Yes.
Chart. And then Zeppo just bonks him on the head.
Problematic. There's a problem with this. Zeppo says he hits him with a bottle, and of course you hit people in the bottle on the back of their head, because that's just, of course, what you do. And then he says he talks about the bump on his forehead.
Yeah. Yeah, and who's he talking to? He doesn't care.
Right, Mike leans over on him, so Mike's passed out, and now he's going to do phrenology on his forehead. But Zeppo, my friend, you hit him on the back of his head. Why would a bump protrude on the front of his head unless you really delivered such a bash that the brain shot at such velocity it dented the front of his head from the hit on the back, which sounds very traumatic.
Yeah, I think the episode would end. It's just be it.
That would be it, right? Mike's dead, or episode's over.
We killed him. Sorry. Right. All right. So now they're all casually tied up. I like the way the monkeys casually tied up, sitting there with the rope just kind of around their shoulders and whatnot. And Maria tells them that they're going to steal the Maltese Vulture. They have 5 minutes to decide. Otherwise, they're going to be tortured, okay. So then they have like the fantasy of being tortured with using the rack. I don't know why they think all like medieval torture weapons is what's going to happen, but they imagine that Davy is being put on the rack. And Davy is like, "Ooh, that's smarts," he says.
Yes, I do like his choice of that very British verb for being a twinge of pain.
Oh, that's smarts. And the other monkeys are watching. Oh no! Oh poor! Oh no! And then, of course, when he finally gets up, he's super tall, and he's like, "All right, I'm fine, guys. Stand up." We are standing up. Oh no! And then I think that's one of Davy's first takes to camera there. I think he looks at the camera there and shrugs a little bit. All right, so I guess their 5 minutes are up. They haven't said anything yet. Marco is very excited that he gets to use the hot pokers.
Super excited.
So he goes to pick up a hot poker, and then one of the gypsies is like, "Not that one. That's my lamb chop." Like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's very sweet. It's a little sweet little moment. And then Mike gives a heroic speech. "You leave me no choice. Yes, we will steal the Maltese Vulture." And then he turns to the other monkeys. "Was that good? Was that good?" They're like, "Yeah, that was really good. That was good."
Now this is my favorite in the whole show. This is my favorite part all the gypsies together have, because their response to this in TV shows now, when you are threatened with torture or tortured and you give in and you'll do the thing, the criminal is not happy with you. They still want to make sure that you know that they have power over you. But here the gypsies are overjoyed. They take all their ropes off and they're just gleefully like, "Yay, like you're part of the group now. We were going to torture you and now you said you'll do it, so now you're in. Great." Right. They're so happy that the monkeys say yes.
They are, because they're cartoon bad. They're not real bad. They're cartoon. Yeah. But actually Marco is actually sad. Marco is the one that still wanted to torture them.
He's like, "Pokers?"
Yeah. Poor sad Marco. Yeah. So then we cut to the map bit. So
this is my favorite cumulative group monkeys bit.
So Mama Maria has a map of the mansion, I guess, where the ball is being held. She's pointing out, "Okay, you guys are performing here. The Maltese Vulture is kept in a safe here. Guards are here. How will you get the Maltese Vulture?" And they've got markers, and they start off just like, "Oh, well, I would just go around here, nice curved line." And then I think that was Micky. And then Mike's like, "Oh, I would start in the ballroom, sneak over here, and then go over here." And then next thing you know, everybody's got markers. They're drawing all over the map. It's crazy. Somebody writes "the monkeys" in the corner.
That's my favorite thing. They sign it when they're done.
There's just scribbles and giant blocks of color. And then they hold it up, and it's actually in a frame.
I don't know for sure. I haven't watched every movie or every TV show, but I don't know that I've ever seen a bit where they have a map of the heist, and then the joke is how either someone's deliberately messing it up, or everybody by contributing ruins the heist map. Is that anywhere else?
It's the monkeys. I think they do.
Okay, see, I thought it was a good bit.
Yeah, I really like it. I don't know. Maybe it was done a lot and we just missed it generationally. I don't know. I really like it. It's very funny. Everybody just scribbling on the map. And so I think Maria says very funny. That's like, like, yeah, okay, you got me. So then Mike and Davy and Micky are all dressed up in their monkey outfit, the blue shirts with the double panel buttons, probably gray slacks. Are they wearing the gray slacks? I don't remember. And they're like, all right, we're ready to go. You hear crickets in the background indicating it is nighttime. Crickets. And they're like, all right, hey, wait, where's Peter? Is Peter not coming? And Maria says, aha, no, we're keeping Peter as hostage. They're like, well, but we're a quartet. Don't worry, here comes Marco. Oh no, Marco is dressed up. Somehow Marco has fit into Peter's clothes.
I did think that was interesting too. They didn't go for the doesn't fit him. It's a well-fitted version of the monkey's costume.
Like they got it. One of them is a tailor or something, and they just
absolutely.
They fixed it. So Marco is gonna go, but he's a musician. You remember they're all supposed to be musicians, so this should not be a problem, right? Oh, and then we cut to the ball. Let's Dance On is playing in the background.
Yes, which are we supposed to infer? Is that sort of like background music that's not really there? Or we do infer that the monkeys are already singing that, and then when we get to the stage, they get interrupted by the thing?
I don't know. It's I don't know either. Because I always think, oh, that's the song the monkeys are playing right now.
Me too.
That's the monkey song, and we see Madam whatever flitting about, talking to everybody for about 1 second, right?
Also, it's clear that these 60 and 70-year-olds, there is no possible way they would want to be listening to that monkey song at that moment. How could that audience actually want to hear that?
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
She would have hired Maria and Marco.
Totally.
Maria and the Grubchicks. That's who she would have hired. But no, instead she hires this like cheap version of the Beatles is what she got. So so she's flitting around, and so we pan through the ballroom, and then we get to the stage, and there's Marco, who's like looks like he's 7 feet tall.
Yes.
Hands full of maracas.
It was just awesome. I actually wondered whether he was actually holding every one of those maracas through the fingers, or whether they'd sort of taped them all inside his hand so he could hold them as a unit.
Yeah, I think they had to be taped together. But then again, he's got big hands. I was thinking they had to be taped together, but maybe not. And he's standing and he's stomping his foot, shaking the maracas like some sort of musical Frankenstein, which actually in this episode coming up, everybody. And saying, shake, rock your roll, shake, rock your roll. which
also terrible. He's not singing well. Again, so maybe he plays an instrument in the band. He
must. Yeah. But it has nothing to do with the song. The guys are done playing, telling him to stop. They're trying to get his attention because he's 7 feet tall and having such a good time. He does not notice. And then finally they explain, no, you have to wait for us. We play together, which is weird because it's the end of the song. So why are they saying wait? Because the song just ended. Monkeys, continuity. I think, I think they put in Let's Dance On after they just like shoved that in. I think that was a mistake.
I see what so you think originally they were either going to starting or stopping a song.
Originally, I think they were starting because their dialogue says, no, wait, Marco, you have to wait for us.
Right. Yes.
But then by having Let's Dance On playing during the pan, it makes it sound like they were already playing and then he was just kept going. So I don't know. It's confusing. Or maybe it's just, I don't want to say it's poorly written, but maybe it was just, not important.
Right.
Not important. So then they tell Marco, hey, why don't you go check on the guards, see how many guards there are. Marco's very upset, saying, you don't tell me what to do. Mama tells me what to do. I'm like, all right, what did Mama tell you to do? Go check on the guards. So Marco happily goes off.
And takes his maracas. So he's going to check on the guards, and he's carrying all 6 or 7 of those maracas.
He takes his maracas, checking the guards, and the monkeys are like, all right, we've got to tell people to, get the cops or something. We have to tell people what's going on. And Mickey approaches a guy, a very tan fellow with a mustache, a curly mustache. He's like, "Shh, don't say anything. Just pretend we're talking." And then Mickey like has this whole speech about what's happening. Maltese, blah, da, 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 da. And then the guy says, "Yugoslavia, blah, blah, blah." Just like,
Toast him in either Russian or some Eastern European language.
yeah, and he's just chewing on an hors d'oeuvre. And do you know who that is?
No.
That is James Frawley, your director.
Oh.
That is James Frawley. And he also was very helpful in teaching the monkeys improv. I think he's the one that taught them improv and like got them prepped and ready to do the series.
This again, I think I'll just become. I'll just call myself maybe I'll just put the two. I'm like a Mickey obsessive. So I'll just say I'm a Mickey obsessive.
Okay.
There's something about that 25, 30-second thing that just makes me look at him and go like, I think that dude has dramatic chops.
Yes.
I think if you sat him down he has a big Matt Damon forehead, and I'm like, dude, you could plant Mickey in a Matt Damon movie, and I feel like he could do that. I can feel it.
Yes. He's really good in that scene. It's really good. Yeah, you're right. Mickey is what sells that scene with James Frawley. But
yes,
it's so good. Because James Frawley gives you nothing though. That's the other thing. He's just standing there.
Spaced. He totally
just nothing until Yugoslavia. Toast. And he's just chewing the whole time. Yes, Mickey, because Mickey was a child actor. He did come in with acting chops. He was on a show called Circus Boy.
Are you serious? Was he the circus boy?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, well, no. Was he the circus? I don't know. You know what? I never really cared enough to look into it to see if he was the star of the show or not. I think he was the star. I do. Because I've seen pictures of him with blonde hair. I think they might have dyed his hair blonde to be Circus Boy. Or maybe, I don't know if he was the star or just like random elephant kid. I don't know. But he was a child actor. So I guess he had some chops. I don't know. Yeah, it's funny though. He could have, I think he got into directing when he was in his, he directed a lot in his adult years. So that makes sense.
But I don't know. It could be, I think now I'm colored and I've just decided that I like Mickey. And so now I just think somehow there's a sense of Oscar-winning thespian from a 25-second scene where he's talking to someone who's not speaking English to him. Just somehow there's some genius there. Right.
There is. Mickey is very good. I do. Yes. No shame at all. Then we have Davy and Mike is putting a note in a bottle. Because they're at sea or something, and they throw that out the window, and then an arm reaches in to give Mike 2 cents because that's the bottle deposit. Does that still happen today?
Yeah, you can actually. Yes,
okay.
You can take things back to the grocery store. There's a local milk company. I think they're called dairies. There's a local dairy here called Chateau Milk, and they're a big deal. And if you buy their stuff, there's a deposit that goes when you buy it, and you get the deposit back and bring the bottle back to the front desk at the grocery store.
Because that's something I remember a lot as a kid, like taking bottles back to the store to get the deposit.
Yeah. But
I'm like, now everybody's like recycling.
Totally.
It's weird. I was just like, oh, does that bit even make sense anymore? Like, probably not.
Well, it does to us in the Chateau Milk country.
Come to Chateau Milk country.
Yeah, they make cotton candy milk. I could go on about Chateau Milk. They do flavored milk, cotton candy, mint chocolate. They have flavored milk, regular milk too, but also flavored milk. Yeah, it's good.
That's crazy. Have you had it?
Yeah. I mean, I try to be about 90% vegan, but I still have some dairy and some meat occasionally. So yeah, I've had it. It's good.
Yeah. That's funny. The other day I need a new couch. Okay. Just let's just start here.
So we're talking about milk. And then now we're going to talk about the couch.
It makes sense.
Okay, here we go. All right.
I need a new couch because since the COVID quarantine stay at home, I have worn out the springs of my 15-year-old chaise lounge.
Yeah.
Chaise lounge. because it's old and I've been on it so much more than
Oh
I
yeah.
usually am. So I'm like, I need a new couch. But since I have a tiny apartment, I was like, you know what? I need like a love seat or an apartment sofa or another chaise longue. And so I'm looking, and I want one that's going to like withstand my weight
Yeah.
and is not too big. So there's like lots of requirements here. And I keep finding, and I've been searching and searching and searching. And my mom was like, oh, you know what? I'll buy you one for your birthday. So I was like, great. So I've been looking for like weeks. And the last few that I found that I really liked were leather. And I'm like, now I just realized I don't buy things that are leather. I think I have like one or two leather purses.
So you don't make a point of buying leather. It's not in your normal thing that you look for things that have leather.
Right. And then I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want a leather couch. I can sit on other people's leather couches and I don't have a problem with it. But I was telling my mom, like, I don't know if I want to sit on a cow, It's like,
yeah.
It's weird. It's like, and I'm not an animal rights person, but then again, I don't eat beef.
Now, I don't know if the chaise lounge cow might be part of the same supply chain that they're getting the beef. So maybe you are in a very ecological way. It would be better that they didn't kill the cow, but they're already killing the cow. And if you don't buy the leather, maybe they would just toss it, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they would make cheap baseballs for kids in Texas. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just very strange that all of a sudden I was like, ew, leather.
I know.
Not something I really thought about until couch time, but that's a really cute couch. And another thing about couches, everything is mid-century modern, so everything is sitting up on sticks now. And I was like, listen, I want a couch that sits on the floor. Do you make couches that sit on the floor? No, everything has to be up on sticks. I'm always afraid I'm going to break a stick. I just want a couch that sits on the floor.
I completely agree. I went to somebody's house before COVID, so probably sometime in January or early February, and she bought a dining room set from like IKEA or someplace, right. And I fucking looked at those chairs, and I'm like, I mean, I didn't want to be. I'm like, I just wanted to say, shit, I can't sit in that chair. It will break. And when I sat down, I'm like, this chair is precarious. I did that fat person thing where I make sure my weight is centered forward a little bit. So I'm getting about 10, 15% of weight on my legs on the floor.
Yes.
Because I'm like, if I just lean back in this thing will collapse open like I've broken open Pac-Man. Like I sat in Pac-Man's mouth and leaned back and tore Pac-Man through his spine. That's what's going to happen to your chair. It's bad news. So yes, I had to play this weird circus balancing.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that. Sit on the edge of the chair. Yeah.
Like, I can't sit there. Can I just sit on the floor? I tell people I prefer to sit on the floor. If you don't have real furniture, just let me sit on the floor.
Oh boy.
Okay.
And I just want, and I don't want a big old, these couches are like 80-inch, 90. I'm like,
people want giant couches. I feel like everyone must have these huge living rooms where there's with the giant cathedral ceilings, or they have that thing where they have that open, what do they call it? Open floor plan.
Yeah.
Where they can fit a couch that's the size of my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, where do you people put this stuff? It's got like 3 recliners,
yes.
2 love seats. It goes off in 7 different directions. Like what is going on? Why
we need to recline? They have recliner love seats. It's like, it's a love seat. I don't need to recline in my love seat. Just give me an ottoman and I'm good. I'll just put my feet up. It's okay. I don't need. Good God. This quest for a couch, I'm telling you, it's been weeks and I still haven't found the couch that I want.
I feel like you could get some wisdom. There must be maybe there's not. Do you think is there a monkeys episode where the monkeys have to buy something for their house? We acknowledge, I've already seen their kitchen. Their kitchen is like a version of like a proto Pee-wee's Playhouse where there's a bunch of crap in there that shouldn't be there, that doesn't have anything to do with their kitchen or dining room. Weird stuff. Do they ever have to buy anything? Like, does their fridge break? Does the oven cause a fire?
No, I don't think they ever buy anything. Peter, in an Emmy-nominated episode, Peter buys a harp. Or
How
actually,
did the monkey? I don't. So
he sells his soul to the devil for a harp. He doesn't realize it, of course, because he's Peter.
do the monkeys ever have to buy food? Do they ever cook or buy food?
They do cook.
Okay.
I think somebody goes down to the store for a hot dog.
Oh, something.
Yeah, they eat. Once they were trying to impress Davy's grandfather, and they bought some fake food, which is more expensive than real food.
Of course it is. Well, I've seen how, like, you watch how they make those commercials, how they make fake food for stuff to drip and be colored right for commercials.
Yeah,
really elaborate. So I'm like, I can appreciate the cost and the art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah,
okay,
they cook.
So
okay, where
milk deposits into vegan, into you don't want to buy a leather couch,
right.
Just to let everyone know, are you or are you not a few months from now going to have a leather couch in your apartment?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Even though the problem with that couch is like if you don't buy the leather, then it's like some weird like plushy microfiber thing, and I'm like, oh, that's gross too.
What is leatherette? Is it just like a fancy word of saying fake leather?
I think so.
Okay.
Also,
pleather. Yeah.
Pleather's fake. Yeah. Also, a Grace Jones song, "Warm Leatherette."
Really? Oh, I'm gonna go listen to that as soon as we're done here.
All right. Oh boy, did I skip? Yes, I did skip when they're gonna when the flighty madam goes up to the stage when the monkeys are still on stage together, and they try to tell her, and they all stick out their finger, and they're like, it's a good bit. It's a cute bit with them all three, Micky, Mike, and Davy all doing things in unison. Physical bits.
They're all pointing, and then when she leaves, they all embarrassingly retract their fingers back.
Right. It's really good. It's impressive. All right. So I guess they finally find the guards, and Davy's like, hey, you guys distract the guards and I'll sneak in. And so then Davy walks right in front of the two guards.
Yeah.
Waves his hand in front of one dude's face as to make sure that he doesn't see Davy. I don't know what's happening here. What? How does is Davy invisible? What is going on?
I will tell you, there is a breakdown. I don't understand. I think the guard with the glasses,
he's sleeping.
I don't know for sure. Yes, he's either sleeping or he's not an actor. I don't understand what's going on. The other one seems like an actor, but I don't know what they were told. Were they told to be bored and not pay attention? I don't understand what the direction was for those guards, because they didn't add, in my opinion, they didn't add anything to Davy's desperate attempts to try to get their attention.
It's so weird. Okay, so it's just weird that Davy like walks up right in front of them.
He does, yes.
And waits. And so then Mike and Micky have a series of distractions. They first start out with the robbery. Mickey's got a cute little mask on, a little like a Zorro-y Lone Ranger mask on, and he's got a gun and on Mike, and Mike's like, help, robbery, help, gun, wallet mine, help.
They don't care at all, and they don't get a line. I don't think the guards get a line. They just don't care.
They just don't care. Oh, wait, no, they do get a line, because I think Davy is like, oh, look, a robbery, and that one guard says, we're not supposed to leave our post.
Yes. Okay. So we've established that now there's zombie guards that instead of brains, they just say, we're not supposed to leave our post.
I enjoy this bit. Okay.
I enjoy one part of this bit. We'll get to it.
And then, so then Davy's like, it's not working. So then Davy's like, oh no, look, a fight. And Micky and Mike have come out in little boxing gloves, old-fashioned brown boxing gloves. And Mike is just standing there, just extending one arm at a time while Micky kind of bounces around.
But Micky stays, most of it is Mike is Rock'em Sock'em Robots punching forward. Yeah. And Micky is stood to the side with his boxing gloves up like he's being hit, but there's no contact being made. Right. Mike is punching so far, if he were punching Micky, his arm would have extended through Mickey's skull out the back of his head.
Right. So there's no... It's terrible pantomiming. It's terrible. Yes. It's very funny. I think Micky hits the wall at one point.
Right.
They both
and then gets back into the play acting.
They both stop for a second and then go, oh no, fighting. And Mike is saying something funny. have at the, I don't know, I can't remember what he's saying. He's saying something very funny. And then that's not working. We're not supposed to leave our post. Then they come back with matches. Oh no, fire. There's like a little siren sound just playing. Uh-huh. And they got these two huge matches. They're like, fire, fire, fire. Oh no, fire. And Davy's like, nah, it's not working. So they go to blow out the matches. And then Micky's won't go out.
This is my thing. So I'm fascinated. Mike blows once, it's out. Either Micky's match won't go out with regular blows and Micky decides not to blow hard to let it out and let it go closer to his finger, or that was the thing was Mike's supposed to go out first and Micky's is supposed to last all the way down through like 4 or 5 blows. I don't know. Is that improvised or what not?
I don't think that's a bit. I think it really I think there's a little bit of actual real panic in Micky's face as it approaches his finger.
But he could have blown harder. I don't think he blows harder the second, third, fourth time. And it just finally he gives it at the end and it gets to go out. So I don't know.
I honestly think he was about to burn himself and there was panic. I think that's real panic. I think Micky does not know how to blow out a match.
Well, hey, Micky is always in control. He detected when it did not blow out the first time, Micky's instincts kicked in and he realized this is a moment in time. Something magical can happen. And so he realized, I'm going to blow again the same amount and it won't go out. I already know that. How far can I take this? Where's the danger in this scene? And that's what he did. He knew that he created that space for danger and uncertainty inside that bit.
You are insane. He keeps looking at Mike. Do you see the panic as he keeps looking over at Mike like, oh no, this match isn't going out.
Well, just blow harder, Micky. Dude, what is wrong? When a candle doesn't go out, you don't blow it the same amount. You blow harder. Take a deeper breath, genius.
Oh, well, he does not breathe well. And that is something that his mother even got on him. He does not take his breathing for singing is very shallow and upsets me. And even his mother told him to fix it and he never did. Micky.
No kidding. Oh, this goes back to crap. Did we already get there? Have they sung the big song? No, they haven't. Sorry, we haven't gotten to the song bit. But I did not realize that the song was sung by Micky. I thought Davy sung everything.
I
didn't realize that big hit was Micky. But you're right. That song is not indicative of somebody who is using their full pipes.
Yeah, Micky's got a great voice, but he doesn't.
He does.
So anyway, so they finally get the matches out and they just throw them on the floor and then Zombie Guard goes, hey, they march over, pick up the matches. And then there's like a city trash can that says, keep our city clean.
Yeah, right.
And they get in trouble for littering. And then they go, we're not supposed to leave our post and walk back. But then by this time, Davy has snuck in. That whole bit, I feel like is a formative scene in what Takura thinks is funny. The whole Mike's help, I am being raw. That whole deadpan, weird, not really selling the fight or the robbery is just it spoke to me. It spoke to little Takura in a way that just informed what I think is funny.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Hey, look, we have different senses of humor. I mean, that's just I see it. Okay, yeah. I mean, I think
that was the funniest thing I had ever seen in my 12 years.
How much of the power of that comedic scene is Micky and Mike for you, and how much of it is Davy trying to get the attention of the guards? Is that just the setup? Is Davy like the straight man? And for you, 93% of the humor is all about that pair.
Yes, it's all about Micky and Mike.
I could agree with that because I don't think Davy's given anything to work with by the zombie guards, but I think it's Davy. They give him a lot of time to go back to the guards, and I think it's boring every time it goes back to Davy.
Yeah. He is kind of the straight man of the scene. He's like, oh, it's not working, guys. Try something else. Yeah, exactly. He's
actually forced to do that. He literally has to do that. His only job, he has to sort of ramp up his own emotions, be like, try again. Right. It's not working. So then they have to go.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. All right, so now Davy has finally snuck into the room, and he immediately talks to the camera about how he's gotten into the room, and he needs a light, and he brings up a candle, and then wrong light, and then he brings up a flashlight, I guess, or something. I can't remember, because I'm like, well, that's a weird take, and then that's just like, here now we're gonna have another series of bits. We're gonna have a series of camera bits, trickery. And we have spy music. We have like James Bondish music playing as Davy sneaks around. The first bit is the portrait, the safe behind the portrait. So he lifts up the portrait, and then there's a portrait of a safe.
That was good.
He lifts that up, and then there's the safe, and he tries to lift that up.
Yes, that was the part I liked the best. Like, I got it. Yes, fine. The portrait of the safe. Ha, that's a joke, right?
Yeah.
The better part was he tried to lift the safe.
Safe, yes. So good. So then he opens up his bag, and then he's got like Mary Poppins' bag.
That's exactly what Zahara said. She watched this, and she's only watched one episode, and she didn't like it at all, and she left as soon as it seemed like the episode was going to be over. But she said, she's like, oh, Mary Poppins.
Yes.
Right.
He's got Mary Poppins' bag where he keeps pulling out giant tools and things out of the bag. And then he pulls out a rabbit, which makes weird noises. I don't like that.
Yeah. Do you think the rabbit was distressed? I mean, it looked okay, but you think it made some weird distressed rabbit squeaky noises?
I don't know. I don't know. I think the rabbit was probably fine. You know, back then they probably drugged it or something.
I liked that it wasn't an all-white rabbit. I feel like I'm tired of seeing all-white rabbits. It was orange. It had big orange spots on it. I thought that was good.
Cute.
Yeah.
And then we have the TNT bit, which the monkeys use repeatedly.
Okay, what the hell? I don't understand this contraption. He puts 2 alligator clips on the safe.
Yes.
And then he unwinds the wire and then goes behind the chair, and he's got the blow-up thing. Explain to me how alligator clips make anything blow up. Dude, where's your dynamite?
Dude,
And then the dynamite explodes next to him on the lamp.
Right. I don't know. I don't know.
Very disturbing. There's a lack of understanding about how demolitions work. I'm just very puzzled.
I don't know. I didn't think that far. I just know that this is the TNT bit where you
like, are you when you push the thing down, are you going to jump the engine in the in the safe?
The safe is going to go driving around the room. It's a different.
At least his ear thing when he uses the stethoscope to listen to like crack the lock. At least that made sense.
Yes, that does make sense. And then the little radio starts playing.
That was funny
because when he turns the thing, it's like a radio dial, and then Clarksville starts playing, and then there's another take to camera. What? Yeah. So yeah, Davy just does nothing but takes to camera, and then there's the glove bit where he's putting on his black gloves, but then like another pair of hands pop up.
And I feel like it's weird, like they didn't give him enough of a chance to do a take to the camera. It jumps to another scene. I'm like,
he does do a little bit. Yeah, he has like a little bit of a confused look. Yeah. And then we jump to Madam and her guest, and she's going to show her guests the Maltese Vulture. And this scene is weird. So she's so excited. She's like, oh, is it okay? She's like, oh no, it's fine. I have guards or whatever. So she goes in. She doesn't notice the exploded lamp. Correct. The Mary Poppins bag,
the alligator clips TNT exploder, even though we just saw it, or the stethoscope, whatever's there, is now gone.
Right. She immediately opens the safe because it's unlocked.
Yes. What the flip? Why is the safe unlocked? Was the safe unlocked the whole time? God damn it, Davy. Did you not pull on the safe before you tried it?
Davy had just unlocked it.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
And she didn't. Yeah, he had a chance. Anyway, she opens the safe, takes out the Maltese Vulture, which is like, I guess maybe like a statue or something of a vulture that they've spray painted gold and stuck some jewels on. It's so gross looking. And then there's like a bunch of bird jokes, which is weird to me. Now, was that like a common slang in the 60s is to call women birds? Because I associate that with like British slang.
So do I, which I thought, but it must be, I mean, again, if the writers are into humor English language humor, they surely are also into stuff that came out of Britain. And so I don't think bird, people did use bird in America, but it was a slang term that originated from the UK. It was always bigger there, but people did use it a little bit, like cool people who were trying to in some way emulate that stuff would call a woman bird. But yeah, it seemed a little like, I don't know. And also, I like the crack about the vulture. So the vulture, I don't know, maybe you're going to mention this too. It's a husband. We get the mention of, again, we get a deeper story about the old woman who's hired the monkeys to come to her house. We understand a little more about her. The guest says, you know, oh, it's a vulture, gross. And somebody makes a comment about her husband.
Yeah, okay. This confuses me.
Okay.
She says, oh, how can you get something so beautiful from such an ugly bird? And then she says, oh, you've met my husband? But birds are women. Is her husband a bird? Is she calling herself ugly? I don't understand this joke.
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
How you get something so beautiful from such an ugly bird? Oh, you've met my husband. And then followed up by Mickey and Mike coming in. Mickey doing, is that an Edwin? I think it's Edwin because I know Mark like texted me or DM'd me because I couldn't remember the name of the guy that does this voice. The Tigger guy. I think that's Edwin. Anyway, that's the voice that Mickey comes in. He's got like all these like medals or something on his lapel. Like he's some sort of judge. I don't know. What is that? Ooh,
I thought I was paying attention. I think I got caught. I think there was something about the comment about her husband that somehow caught me in a spell.
Yes.
And then I lost when they came in, I got lost. Like things are moving too fast in the scene. Yeah. Too many people interacting. There's too many jokes trying to get jammed in.
Yes, there's a lot happening here. So they come, I think he's like, he's supposed to be some sort of like a mayor or something, or a councilman, because he's got all these badges on. He's messed up his hair. And he's talking in this voice saying, oh, let's look at the bird, not that bird, because Mike is looking at the guest of the madam's friend. And
yes.
So we have a back-to-back bird jokes. But the one bird joke implies a man and the second bird joke implies a woman. And I am confused. I don't get the husband joke.
It does seem like the husband is supposed to be the bird, but that doesn't make sense given the fact they've already made a point of referring to at least once in some joke a woman is a bird. Right. So you're right, that doesn't. I don't know. Very confusing. But I thought Mickey did a great job with the dumb thing he was asked to do. A good parrot, a good like cartoony voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's Ed. Oh man, I don't want Mark to DM me again that I have it wrong. Anyway, so then there's like a whole big to do about somebody grabs the vulture and gives it to Davy, and Davy drops it outside because the gypsies are waiting outside with Peter. They're gonna kill. It's curtains.
I did not know the gypsies were waiting outside. I thought they were still back at the camp. I didn't know they all were going to wait outside the house for the vulture.
So apparently this is the point where we find out, oh, part of the plan is throwing the vulture out the window. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, they say it's curtains for Peter, and Peter's like, oh, I thought you were going to kill me. So
that's the second misunderstanding of it's curtains for you.
Yes.
That's already been, there's two. They've used the same joke twice already.
Yeah. Too many jokes. So then, so they drop it outside. Peter catches it. He says, thank you, in like the real Peter Tork voice, like not the character Peter voice. So it's like, that was really deep voiced for Peter. It's like, oh, that's Tork's voice. Okay, I get it. And then Madam is like, oh no, they've stolen it. Bring those thieves inside.
No. But here she tells the gypsies, stop him.
Yeah.
I think she tells the gypsies. And the gypsies at this moment with their knives, they were prepared to kill Peter. The thing drops down. Peter is now at this moment, the gypsies could have escaped because the woman and the guards thought that the gypsies were the ones responsible for stopping Peter from stealing the vulture.
Right.
But they were greedy and they went in and engaged in more crime, and they could have all been free.
Yes.
Right then, there was a chance for freedom.
They could have just run away at that point.
Right.
Instead, they're like, oh, yeah, we caught him. Let's go inside.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get caught. So they go inside. They convince Madam that Peter is the thief and the monkeys are the thieves. That Peter has thief written all over his face, but he spelled it wrong.
Uh-huh.
Cute. And then I don't remember how this happens. All of a sudden we're in a romp. I don't like, how did we get it? Why is everybody running around? I don't
understand too how basically the setup is the monkeys try to do stuff to the gypsies. It doesn't work. The monkeys try to do stuff to the gypsies. It doesn't work. Kind of a clapping audience. Like this is entertainment that's been put on for them. But yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't get what they're doing.
Now I think I remember what happens. So then, like, all of a sudden, like, Mama Maria is talking, and then all of a sudden, like, somebody grabs the vulture. One of the grub chicks grabs the vulture and tries to make a run for it.
Okay.
And then that's when I thought love was only true, and then we're in a romp, right?
Yes.
So we've got fast motion romp of the grub chicks all lined up, and the monkeys trying to beat them up one at a time. I don't know. It's like a whole just a series of bits of them running up and trying to beat up the grub chicks.
Yes.
And it's not working. And
while Maria steals from the guests.
Maria just steals from the guests. It's very cute. I just like her walking around, just picking jewelry and things off of the people as they watch. And let's see what else is in this romp. It's a good little romp. I enjoy this romp. I like the series of different ways to attack the grub chicks.
Yeah. I feel like there's a pretend shooting that doesn't work. And then there's it ends with a bunch of football stuff. I thought the football helmets were elaborate. I couldn't quite figure out what the insignia was on the side. They were gold like Notre Dame, but there was some logo on the side.
Was it an M or something?
Maybe, yes. Maybe it was. So if the monkeys had a football team, it literally could be pulled from this moment. It would have been perfect. They have a logo and everything. The graphic designer already did the branding.
They don't want to be nobody wants to be like the LA Monkeys. That's not a good thing.
No, that's probably not a good thing. You're right.
Hey, shout out to the Seattle Krakens, I guess, is the new NHL team.
Are you yanking like, really? Seattle Krakens?
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of cool. So how long do you think it takes before they get like a Liam Neeson sound cut of, release the Kraken?
Oh, every time they score. Time they score. That's what's going to play. Every time they score a goal, going to be release the Kraken. I'm going to call them the Seattle Cracklins because then it's like pork rinds. That'll be fun. Hey, Cracklins. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff in the romp. Mama's stealing. And then they do a thing where they show her face, like we're singing about Mama. Then I saw her face. Real.
Yeah. Stupid. I watched that other episode where you have a song. It's a dance class. So the song really does fit in with the hijinks because you go into fast forward and it's a song with a dance class. Makes perfect sense.
Right. Here
it didn't make as much sense. And the fact that they jump, again, they use the B-roll of them performing stuff. It didn't quite fit. And then that choice where they're like, well, face. Hey, they mentioned face. Let's use her face. That seemed a weird choice.
It is weird. It's like, oh, are we in love with Mama? I mean, she's pretty,
I didn't get it.
It's weird. It's just like, this was a hit song. Let's put it in the next episode. That's all that's happened.
Okay.
This song was used in the last episode. The episode the week before, they played I'm a Believer. So they didn't even change songs from the previous episode.
This is where I discovered I did not know because they showed the B-roll of Micky playing. But I'm like, I see Davy. I'm like, how come Davy's only doing backing vocals? And they cut to Micky doing part of one of the verses. I'm like, oh, Micky sings the song. And who wrote this song? Is this a Neil Diamond song?
I believe so.
Wow. Micky gets to sing a Neil Diamond song? Like, man, of all the things to do in the world, to have said, I sang a Neil Diamond song.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It is cool, and he does a great job. So I feel like I'm sorry, everybody. I usually devote much more time to the romps, but in my effort to not take as many notes, I don't have as much. I only wrote down fast motion, fight, football, Mama stealing. That's all I wrote down for the romp.
I don't think this romp, it did not. I felt like football was one part, but then I felt like they used the football helmets. They decided, let's just make that 2 or 2.5 parts of this romp. So instead of switching the bit to a new thing every time, I guess if we went back, we could probably follow exactly bit 1, bit 2, bit 3, and it would, but I don't know. It just seemed a little helter-skelter to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the ramming. They hold Davy and try to ram him.
Yes. But again, they're using the helmets. They've already established a hut, let's play football. But now they're, the best part of it, I think the best part of this was the end of this where they're trying to kill Marco. or hurt Marco.
Wait. Yeah, wait.
That
yes.
is the best part. Yeah.
It is so weird. Yeah, there's a lot of hitting Marco on the head with bottles, and he's just enjoying a.
And they shoot him with a cannon. I thought that was good.
There's a cannon.
And winds up in his mouth. Marco is invulnerable. Marco's a superhero.
Yes,
Super
he
villain.
is. You cannot stop the Marco. And then like they have like a suit of armor, and they go after them, and then all of a sudden all the grub chicks are in a corner and they've given up.
Yes.
The cops have them cornered. I don't know how that happened.
I don't either, because it involves somehow all the monkeys gathering around the suit of armor, which is not moving, but then threatening them with the weapon on the suit of armor, and then that's the thing that finally cows the grub chicks into submission.
Not the cannon.
No, not pulling out a thing that could like murder people at the front lines of a war. No, it's just us swinging the arm that holds something that's dangerous. I don't know.
Right. So they're all arrested, but
not sad about it.
No,
Sort of
because
sad,
Maria's like, oh, you've taught us a lesson, monkeys. We now know that there's more money to be made in show business than in theft, which is
It doesn't even take that much. They said like it doesn't even take that much talent.
Yeah,
You prove to us. It's not even going to be hard. It's easier.
Oh, that's just funny. And which made me think for a second, oh, they're not going to jail. No, they are going to jail. So the cops carry them away, take them away. And then they're like, boy, they're real sweet people. That's nice. I feel like we really made a difference. And then Mike goes to look at his watch. Oh, my watch is gone. And then Davy's, my watch is gone. And Mickey's like, I don't wear a watch. I don't need to. But my wallet is gone. And they're like, oh no, Maria stole our stuff. Let's go get him. Peter, what did she steal from you? Peter? Oh, she stole Peter. And who wouldn't?
He didn't steal Peter. Peter was initially implicated in the theft of the most expensive valuable in the courtyard outside. The cops and the guards were always fixated on Peter. Peter is going to jail as the mastermind of that crime. He's dressed as a gypsy. He was the one who got the vulture. They threw the vulture to him. He's clearly the mastermind. Maria and Marco are getting out early. Peter is going to jail.
No, but he changed back into his monkey outfit during the romp.
Oh crap, did he? You're right, he did.
He should have.
You're right, he did. He changed back out. You're right.
Unless the romp was just a fantasy.
How could she steal Peter? This again, the end. How could that happen? How could they get Peter?
Out of all the monkeys, who's the easiest one to steal? Peter.
Very true.
Tell him there's ice cream outside. Like, oh, okay. Of course she stole Peter. It makes perfect sense.
Why? Why would she steal Peter?
Why wouldn't you steal Peter? He's so adorable. He's sweet. Okay, so that is our episode of the monkeys. So what did you think, Brendan Howard?
I thought it was interesting. I like the dance one better. I thought we talked about the problem with that other episode, that there were long stretches that didn't seem to be funny enough. And this one is much more compact. They jump, even if there's a bit that stays in a place, they're trying to jump from thing to thing quickly. So if we have a number of characters, at least they're trying to do 3 or 4 things. There's 3 or 4 jokes jammed in here, as opposed to we're going to stretch a joke out, because we talked about that problem before. So it seems kind of, action packed is jammed in. I don't know about Peter here. He doesn't get to do a lot.
No.
The other ones get to do a lot more.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. So I don't know that if everybody's experience, when we discuss this episode, I laugh about it. If I sit down and watch an episode of The Monkees, I will not laugh.
Really?
Oh no, there's nothing in The Monkees.
All right, that's it. That's been Brendan Howard, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
But I like laughing. I like looking at it and discussing it. I think it's interesting.
Oh man, I laugh out loud. I laugh
I worry that you've been hit in the back of the head by a gypsy, or that you've been punched in the face by Mike, and that you have brain damage. That's all I'm saying.
Davy saying, I win. I'm the coward. I win. That can make you chuckle.
It is good. His "I'm a coward" line is good, where he gives up. That was good. And then Mickey, I like watching. They all had good. There are little moments that are good in everything. Yeah.
That "I'm a coward" makes me laugh out loud every time.
That was a good line.
I still love it. If it weren't for the gypsy thing, this would still be one of my favorite episodes. because it's got, because of Mike and Mickey in the hallway, that is just one of my favorite things ever. I love it. All right. Thank you so much, Brendan. I sound like I'm wrapping up, but I'm not. Thank you for having me on your podcast, What People Do.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Podbean. You do so much. Your write-up and your notes are so good. It makes me feel bad that I do nothing for the show. Your notes were so good. It made me sound like an intelligent, thoughtful human being. I was like, look at this. I'm a real person, according to Brendan.
Yeah, well, you talked about, again, you might have felt like it's nothing. We start out just talking about the fact that, I like comedy and blah, blah, blah. But we end up talking about a lot of deep stuff. I mean, I think anything, it's that thing from college. I think if college professors prove nothing to you, people joke about the classes and they treat dismissive, listen, underwater basket weaving or the deep philosophy of whatever, the Jimmy Fallon show. Like, you don't understand. You can sit down and study anything. So it's comedy, like making people laugh, or like this monkey show. This is a sitcom most people don't watch anymore. It's on DVD. It's out on YouTube. It's a nostalgic thing. Any one of these episodes, you could talk about any one of these episodes for 12 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, there's deep stuff about everything. And you're really smart. So when you get going about something you're interested in, bam, there it goes.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you. You're so sweet. Speaking of sweet, please rate and review Monkey's podcast on Apple Podcasts. I think Mr. Dan Kaufman left a review, who was my last co-host, which was very sweet, but I'm not going to read it and give him any more props because he was already on a whole episode. But still, thank you, Dan Kaufman, for rating and reviewing my podcast.
Did he just say he liked it? I don't want you to read the thing, but did he actually give some, useful criticism or thoughtful
He just
commentary?
wrote a little blurby thing. He wrote a little thing. It was nice.
All right, fine. Well, I don't even want to hear it. It's just a little thing. I mean, it doesn't even sound substantial.
I don't want to say. I don't want to read it. I don't remember what it. I think the word charming was used. Charming was used. Little hearts fly around my head. Okay. So, gosh, what else? Oh, Brendan, how can people find you? It's just people like things. Wait, no, what's it called?
No, it's a podcast, What People Do. I actually Googled it. So this is my derangement. I Googled it. I don't think you can find it. Like if you go Google, I don't think you can. If you look for What People Do podcast, Podbean, Brendan Howard, if you put that all in a Google search, I think you might be able to find it.
No.
It's pretty terrible. Give me 1 second. There is a way to find it. It is Brendan Howard, BrendanHoward.podbean.com, and that will get you to the podcast. But because I'm so weird about self-marketing, I just find myself sort of gleeful that if you went like, where's Brendan Howard's podcast? I don't think you can find it. I think Google doesn't give a crap about my podcast.
Do you want people to find your podcast, Brendan?
Yeah, it's great. I just don't like self-marketing. And it's not great because it's just, you talk to people are wonderful. And so when you talk to them about something they like, they say wonderful things.
Okay, we'll talk about how to, we'll talk, Brendan.
BrendanHoward.podbean.com. And it sounds like Takura is going to give me some help in marketing and promotion and how to properly use social media, which I will very happily listen to.
Yeah, and then I'll get Dan Kaufman on you. He scolded me after my episode on things I should be doing.
Shut the front door. That is awesome. Did he scold you on the podcast or only?
No, no, he did not. But his whole method of humor is to mock and tease. So I felt like I was scolded the entire time. But anyway, hey, you've been listening to the Monkeys podcast. I'm sure there's something I forgot to say. Oh, I know what I forgot to do, but we've already played it. We didn't. Yeah, we have already played Park Coffee Bank.
Yeah, so really this is a thing that you can only do. You're not supposed to have repeat guests because they're supposed to have their one chance to say who they'd like.
Yeah. So then, who was your MVP of this episode, though? Is it Maria? Is it Marco? Is it James Frawley as Yugoslavia?
Marco is given the most to do, and I think he does an adequate. I think he does a good job. I bet the actor who plays Marco is not like his character. And I think he is completely believable as a sort of lunk-headed.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he espouses violence, loves violence, and yet you don't feel that he's a terrible, threatening character because he's downplayed as you can give him sugar and he'll stop being violent. I mean, he's just, it's a believable, charming, it's both dangerous and charming. I'll use Dan Kaufman's great adjective, Dan Kaufman. Charming. It's nice, but dangerous, but nice, but dangerous. A bit like Mickey's incredible bit where it's charming and funny that the match is running down, but is it really
okay,
Mickey's
Brendan? Okay.
Powerful intellect?
That's enough.
That is crap.
That's enough about Mickey. Good Lord.
Mickey's the best.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with Marco. Just for the sugar and the yo-yo. He's always got a yo-yo.
The yo-yo that they never explain for any reason. It probably shows up 6 or 7 times where he's bouncing that yo-yo up and down just because Marco bounces a yo-yo.
Yeah, I think Peter at one point cuts the string.
Oh, he does, right?
During the romp. That was mean, Peter.
That was mean.
All right, so Marco is our MVP. I'm sure there's something else I've forgotten to do, but Brendan has made me get up in the morning, y'all. So this is revenge for when I made another guest get up in the morning and he was cranky. I get it. This is revenge. Okay. So you've been listening to the Monkeys podcast. Subscribe, leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Find us on all social media at Monkeys Podcast. It's PAWDCAST. And you should know by now that Monkeys is spelled with 2 E's. Support the show by getting official podcast merch at dragonwagonshop.com. I have a new Facebook page. That was one of the things that Dan scolded me about. So I have a new Facebook page now. And I think that's it. That's going to do it. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Brendan.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right.
Mickey's the best.
All right. Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye. See you next time. Bye. Bye.
Hey everyone, Jake Lloyd here.
Along with Paul Bianchi.
And Alexandra Hoy.
Hey, we all host different shows on Dragon Wagon Radio.
That's true, but we're not here to talk about any of those.
Not at all. We are here to talk about Dungeons and Dragon Wagon,
in which us podcasters from Dragon Wagon Radio venture into a mythical land for a D&D inspired role-playing game.
Alexandra and I are joined by Matt Hinksman and a very special guest of quest for each chapter of an epic saga in which we must take on the roles of half-orcs, dark elves, and more as we fight our way through a fantastical land of peril, drama, and often hilarity.
All of which is controlled by me, the Dungeon Master, and the players' chance rolls of the die.
And our show is for everyone. Even if you don't play role-playing games, you'll love D&DW.
That's right. Our game sessions are highly edited, easy to follow, sound designed from top to bottom, and completely immersive.
Yeah, our episodes sound more like a well-produced radio drama than an RPG show.
So what are you waiting for? Join the adventure on Dungeons and Dragon Wagon at dndwpod.com or wherever you find great podcasts.
It's Dragon Wagon.